welcome back to another glorious stream slash episode of The Letter. Last time we left off, Isabel had just woken up on the floor at the mansion, and what was her name? Was it fucking Belle or some shit? I don't know. She thought we were crazy and that we needed to go to the hospital because they were trying to sell the mansion to the rich chick, and now there's supposed to be a bunch of people coming over to check out the mansion. So let's get right back into it. I'm pretty excited. I just got done recording some VR horror and whatnot. Can't even words. I'm gonna turn up my mic sensitivity just a smidge. There we go. I've got my water ready. I'm ready to narrate. Oh shit. Okay. Sell the house, get the money. We saw this last time we left off. Okay, this is where we were at. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their neck, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring amongst themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but, you know, what are they gonna do?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wander to me. They're mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those fucking stairs. Literally me. Flight, thank you for the host, man. I appreciate it. Hope y'all are ready for this. Was it Miss Colic? I think that's what we decided her name was. Miss Colic also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you!
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
Yo! Isaac, thank you for the host.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
Jester, thank you for your host, man. Ah, they must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere. A magazine, maybe? Television? I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised if the two already have, to be honest. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, if that makes sense. And in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. Yes, Isaac, this is a horror game. Just go along for the ride. Basically, I'll sum it up for you. Right now, we're trying to sell a mansion, and it's like a 17th century mansion that's been like haunted and killed a bunch of people. But for some reason, we decided to fucking come in and sell this shit. Our character's name is Isabel. I'd think they're brother and sister if it wasn't for their public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. Nothing like some brother-sister marriage. Is this mansion in Alabama? Whatever. Couples or not, what's important is that we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of canceling the listing. I just hope one of the people in mine or Grose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering amongst themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask me questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answer all of them. More than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. I mean, everybody in the town basically knows about it anyways, so what's the point? Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire... Yeah, just like I was saying, even if everybody knows about it, don't talk about it. Neo, thank you for the host, man, and welcome back. Hope you're ready for tonight's stream.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty.
Even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I stop talking, her attention is already somewhere else.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter around them. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to make me some semblance of hope. Isaac in chat says, I can just imagine the guy who's buying it thoughts, yes, I would like to buy this fucking haunted house that has killed multiple people in the past. I'll build the pool there. Okay. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put in retaining the room's classic appeal. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Fucking shit, they hired Magic Eraser Man. His fucking bald head would glisten in the window as he finished his work. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks and how much of a pain in the arse cleaning this will be, they still managed to pull this off somehow. Or make it look presentable at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
This is the first time the guy in the gray suit spoke up. Mr. Luke Wright. My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentive caught me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any interest of the place, really. But this time, something lit up in his eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes, honestly. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a kid who's seen absolutely everything that he wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. On a grown man? It's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on his face. He doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he started to actually show interest. I smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Funny, the first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale? When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyways. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we've prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand touches my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Oh, it's Mrs. Wright.
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Fucking Isabella, you dumb bitch!
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah. I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see... But we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she's tasted a particularly sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hannah. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with some cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon, and it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary. or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCulloch, who only gives me an apologetic smile and a shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through all of them. Oh man, Rose is gonna be so pissed for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
It's Isabella! Get it fucking right, you dumb bitch! Oh my god! I swear if I have to fucking say it again, I'm gonna kick your ass!
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and what's this?
A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. She turns to her husband. He merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything. Are there papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong, but I don't want to mess up. But with the way that Ma'am Hannah's leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I didn't hear what she said after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you all right? You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice Rose come in the room. I want nothing more than to say no, I'm not all right. I want to leave this place so bad because I remember everything clear as day now. The letter and that woman in the attic, it's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking that I've gone mad? Show the letter to her or don't show her the letter? I think we should show it to her. I blurted out before I could even think twice about what I was going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Rose casts a nervous glance at the people in the room. Most are still engaged in conversation, but those curious enough to turn their heads in our group's direction have been given her trademark saleswoman smile. A tight expression's on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all. I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reaches out to pluck the paper out of my hand. Without even glancing at it, she folds it back neatly.
Look, I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine. But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Before Rose could put her mouth open for a retort, a hand lands on both of our shoulders, pulling the two of us a distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Well, it certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion. Especially darling little Lily here.
He gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze, while an inscrutable smile spreads across his face.
It's Isabella, sir.
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here, I'm sure.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leave his wife's lips, while the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. It's also impossible to miss the displeased frown on Miss McCulloch's face. The realization that we might lose the sale because of my outburst instantly draws in on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology, and I gather my shit and make an exit. It doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I cause trouble, and Rose can be quite unforgiving for behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face, because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler. Her eyes soft, a fond smile spreads on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off, before she shifts her gazes down to her hands, a small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it nevertheless, more as an automatic response than any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling that, one way or another, it'll find its way back to me regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She clasped her hands together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful. Whether at myself, at the unlucky turn the situation has taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
At the memory, we both burst into giggles, earning a strange look from the guest milling at the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishap that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose does have a point. It's better for me to step out on this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of a complaint. Left with nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderly is gathered some ways across from me, are occupied in a friendly banter about which one would cost more to buy. A little argument here, and occasional laughter and teasing there. I smiled to myself. The conversation reminded me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should probably call Ash. It's a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the letter, personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the fuck out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works, a free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects.
Shit! Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out,
Shit,
can't
how
beat
loud
me.
is this thing
Looking
even?
for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty
Oh
fly
god.
for an Asian guy.
A sharp ringing
Sup,
fills the
I'm
entire
Ash
hall,
from
disrupting the
Deluxe
pleasant quiet
City.
that's
Baggers, watch
settled.
out,
Soon
can't
heads
beat me.
turn in
Looking for
search
trouble?
of the source,
Better not
mine
lie.
included.
I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.
My eyes dart
Sup,
around.
I'm
Oh my
Ash
god,
from
that's so loud.
Deluxe City.
My eyes
Baggers,
dart
watch
around the
out,
small
can't
crowd before
beat me.
zeroing in on a
Looking for
lone
trouble?
figure crouched
Better
behind
not
the same
lie.
group of
I'm
old
a
people.
cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.
He's facing away from me,
Sup,
fumbling
I'm
with
Ash
something
from
in his
Deluxe
hands.
City. Baggers, watch
But I
out,
don't need to
can't
see his
beat me.
face to know
Looking
whose
for
back it
trouble?
is.
Better not lie.
Oh,
I'm a
I'd
cool
recognize
dude,
that dumb
pretty
parka
fly for an
anywhere.
Asian guy.
Without bothering to
Ash
end the
from
call, I
Deal
marched
Luck
towards
City.
him.
Bad guys watch out, can't beat me.
After
Looking
what
for
happened,
trouble?
I'm not
Better
really in the mood to
lie.
deal with
I'm
this.
a cool dude. Pretty
Of all the
fly for an
times to-
Asian guy.
Ashton Frey!
What happens next is something I'll surely regret for not having it recorded.
Ah!
He jumps, lets out an undignified yelp, followed by his phone slipping out from his grip. It bounces from one hand to the other in his poor attempt to catch it, before ultimately falling flat on the floor with a resounding clack. I kind of felt bad for his phone and the floor, but it's not every day that you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses. I'll take every ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. An awkward pause passes between us. A blink. A cough. He makes a face. And then, in a too quick motion, he ducks and retrieves his abused gadget, while a grin threatens to break from my lips. He doesn't even meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. In another universe, where we wouldn't have known each other for 5 years and suffering through his teasing isn't a day-to occurrence, chances are I find that adorable. Enduring, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. The way things are, I'm already content to see him out of his obnoxiously calm and collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way! Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed the canary, suddenly checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches. Seems to be more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash,
I could be looking to buy a house.
a mansion?
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I followed his gaze, but before I can figure out what caught his attention, he placed a hand on my shoulder and turns me back to face him.
I just finished working on something, so I dropped by.
I still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm like he touched something particularly hot and casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client.
We have mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he paused and gave me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how often he looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop the subject and won't ask any more questions. The last thing I want is to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on Earth I think I'll ever be telling that to. Yeah, he's dependable. God knows how many times he's helped me, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and the supernatural? He'll never believe that, even if he hears it from me, except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you an explanation why those things have no chance of ever being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you every fucking chance he gets. Asshole or ashhole. Oh, bad wording. That's bad. What did I ever do to him? He never does this to Becca or Zach. I can already imagine how things will go down the moment I spill a word of what I saw. Nope, nope, nope. Over my dead body. Before it catches his attention, I shove the letter deep into my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
A rush of air greets me as the main door opens. Not the usual autumn draft, but it's still a welcome change from the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps quick behind me, the sole of his shoes thumping against the polished concrete in an awkward cadence as he rushes to catch up. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still looms in the background. Whispers calling me back, shadows beckoning. I don't look back. We spend the ride back to Luxbourne in a relatively quiet manner, with only the radio's disjointed hum in the background to fill the silence. Occasionally, Ash will reach out to fiddle with it until the signal settles or it's on a respectable volume, but otherwise he doesn't say a thing. Neither do I. However, if the furtive glances he's been sending my way are signs, I know they're things that he's been itching to ask since we left the mansion. I keep my eyes trained on the passing scenery outside in the small hope that my disinterest will dissuade him. All of a sudden, he tosses me something from a small compartment on his side. It hits me cleanly on the chin before I can make a move to catch it, small package making a soft landing on my lap instead.
Sorry.
Oh, look at the blushy blush. The glare I send him wipes the smirk about to form cleanly off his face. He clears his throat, focusing his eyes on the road again. I swear he did that on purpose. Ignoring him, I flip the half-forgotten package on my lap.
I won't say no to free food, but why are you giving away cereal bars?
I want a fucking cereal bar. Speaking of cereal bar, I need a drink of water. Hold on. Narrating does a lot on your voice. All right.
I always have one on my person, and you look like you're about to pass out back there. Have you eaten lunch yet?
I didn't even get the chance to deny it, because right on cue, my stomach rumbles as loudly as it fucking can. No surprise there, I did skip breakfast and lunch so I could catch Becca while she was on break. I was hoping to get a small meal after. I guess with everything going on, I just forgot until Ash mentioned it. It's not like the hollow feeling's new to me, though. If anything, it's just one of those things I got used to, ignoring it over the years growing up. A thanks. Then I tear open the package and start nibbling on the edge of the bar. Apart from an acknowledging nod, Ash doesn't say anything after that. For that, I'm thankful. After getting an earful from Becca and Rose, it's nice to be able to just sit down with somebody who's not gonna nag me.
How'd the open house go?
The usual. We got a bigger crowd than normal because of the property's fame, but really, no different from the typical open house. On second thought, it actually looks like a fancy party more than an open house. I've never felt so underdressed in my life. Weren't you there?
I wasn't really listening.
I should have asked someone to kick you out.
No, you won't.
And what makes you so sure?
One, ever since you got assigned to this property, you've been freaking out about it. Rebecca's words, not mine. She's been complaining to me about how you talked your ears off, by the way. Two, despite your initial qualms about the place, you still took the job. Which brings us to three. It's been months since you last settled a deal, and you're short on money right now since you're back to your instant noodle diet.
How do you even know about the last one?
Rebecca. Anyhow, you're hell-bent on selling the mansion. Even if someone you know personally is in the tour group, you aren't going to just kick them out. Every single person who went on your open house is still a prospective client to you, even me.
He's not entirely wrong. Oh man, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
I hate you. I really hate you right now.
His answer's a small laugh that kind of screams, I'm right, I told you so. I hate it when he does that.
I'll have you know that there's already someone who's extremely interested in this property. So even if you expressed any sort of interest in it, I don't think they'd be willing to let you have it. Too bad.
Provided I don't botch it with the rights. Ma'am Hannah in particular didn't look too pleased with what I did. I owe Rose a big apology. I hope she likes free donuts. I like donuts.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I am happy. Doesn't this look like a happy face to you?
Really? And here I was thinking you found another one stuffed in the sofa. Or is it the wardrobe this time?
He meant that as a joke, but how close it is to the truth made my blood run cold and my own heartbeat a heavy weight in my chest. All at once, the letter in my bag feels a whole lot heavier, burdened by my own guilt and apprehension.
Yeah, well, things happened. Stuff the right couple might not be pleased about. No need to make a fuss about it. It's normal in the business.
You made them angry?
Wait, just a minute. So you're telling me paranormal shit going on in the house? It's normal, you know? It happens all time in our realty corporation. I didn't even realize that that's what this was in the background. This is the place that they work, the Briar Realty Corporation, the BRC. Anyways.
Not angry, just stuff happened.
Like?
Things.
Did they do anything? Your clients, the rights, was it?
I can't answer that. I'm not gonna lie to him. I don't want him to think of me differently.
You keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours. That's not fair. Both you and Zach have literally disappeared off the face of the earth.
An over-exaggeration, but changing the subject to something else is still better than lying to him. That's what I'm saying. Besides, it never works with him. I'm not sure if it's because I'm just bad at it or because he's really very good at his job. He doesn't answer immediately, only momentarily shifting a glance over to me and returning it back to the road when he has to make a sharp turn. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. I wonder how long before we reach the venue for Zach's film. Checking the street signs outside, it appears Ash has taken the longer route. Odd, but he's probably trying to avoid the rush hour traffic.
Didn't we just talk a week ago over chat?
That's different. Linking your awful memes in the group chat box every morning isn't exactly a conversation.
Excuse me, I don't hear you calling them awful while you're laughing at all of them.
Shut up! And you aren't answering my question.
She's a meme queen. That earns a soft punch to his arm. I did laugh at them, but I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of knowing that I liked them. It'll only make his head bigger. Fucking Ash.
All right. Lay off on the abuse. Remember that case I mentioned before? We've been trying to pin the bastard down, but it required more work than we anticipated. The guy's slippery like that. We got some good lead months ago.
He recounts what he's been doing in the time we haven't seen each other. His usual work, the occasional small investigation, and the big case he's been stuck working on, stuff he couldn't mention in the brief time we catch each other online. Although most of it are the trimmed down version, only things he can tell. He always has to be careful about it. Even in the way he spins his answers to my questions, just enough to satisfy my curiosity, but not enough to paint the whole picture. At one point, his voice takes on a strained tone when he mentions something about the big case, but I don't dwell on it much. That's normal, right? I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated if you couldn't bring someone to justice because they kept slipping out of your fingers? If I were in his shoes, I'd fucking lose it. His stories never cease to be entertaining, I guess. If things weren't the way they were back home, maybe I could have considered taking on the same job as him. Well, not really. Mom would not like that. But the idea is still there, along with countless others I've let go. Time passes quickly between us in this manner, and before I know it, we're already at the movie house. And we will just have to see what happens at the movie house in the next episode of The Letter. If you are watching on the YouTube lands, I am going to cut this off right here. If you liked the video, be sure to like. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We are streaming this every night this week at 8 p.m. Central until we beat the game. So if you miss it on stream, then it'll be uploaded on YouTube. So I don't know.